Right, welcome to day 2 of the Daiwa Pole Masters. You find me today on peg 43 on high pool. And if it was probably a section of the venue I didn't want to draw, it was here. Very deep lake, very wide across the island. Notorious for throwing up some low weights in competitions. I think there was 20 odd pound off this peg yesterday, so my hopes aren't high for a ironic, no pun intended. They're not high for a massive weight today, but I am going to try and catch, obviously, and see what I can do. In terms of plan for the day, I've got a margin to my left and a margin to my right. They're pretty shallow actually, so I fancy them for a few fish. I'm going to try and catch a few fish top kit, short kit plus a short 4. And I'm going to try and catch some fish on a top 7, I think it is, on my number 7 section. I should check. No, my number 6. So hopefully I can catch a few fish. Just run through my rigs. This is my right hand edge, as you know, is custom really, which is a orange hydro 017 013 hook length, 0.4 Drennan crystal, size 16 Kaizen hook, and I'm going to fish that just down to my right hand side there. That's where that's going to go. On my right hand edge I've got exactly the same float, but I'm going to fish it down, just down there. In front of me I find that one. Yeah, this is my short kit, orange hydro again, 017 013, as on all the rigs. I've got a 4B14, it's deep, it's nearly a full short kit. And I'm going to fish that with some slop, I would call it. I've just made some up here. It's a combination of 2 mils, a bit of ground bait, casters, and some worm chopped up in there. Now I'm going to feed through a medium pot and fish that short just down there. That's the plan for that. And then I've got a long kit on the deck on that top 6 line. As I said, this is a 4B16 float, white hydro, just because I've run out of short kits, and a bulk to a size 16 Kaizen. I'm going to fish a worm on the bottom. I've got some shallow kits just to see if I can catch some fish up in the water. So what I'm going to try and do is I'm going to start short. I'm going to feed a load of casters in front of me. I'm going to try and catch some fish shallow, and if I can't catch shallow, I'm going to go down on the deck underneath them with some worm. That's the plan. I've also made up a jigger float. If there's one place I think I'm ever going to use a jigger, it's here on high pool. So I'll just fish that with a pellet. I'll fish that over the same line if I can't get anything. And that's it. As far as the side tray is concerned, I've got some worms for chopping, I've got some worms for hooking, I've got some pellets, 4s and 6s, some 2 mils, slop, a load of casters, a load of maggots. I do see fish blowing, so maybe it's possible to catch a few fish on the bottom without putting a load of bait in. Let's see. Right, there we go. There's the all in. Let's see, high pool 43, what have you got for me today? There is actually quite a few carp in high pool, quite a lot of carp in high pool actually. Let's add that quickly, isn't it? Must admit, that was a bit unexpected. Maybe that quick. I was saying there is quite a lot of carp in high pool. I caught one last year, very pretty fish, and I think maybe if I'm really struggling, then I can dump a load of ground bait down one of these edges. See if I can get some carp in the shallow water. Feels like a trusty perch. It's good enough to start the day. Foul hooked. I'll put a few more casters with that slop, I think. I felt like I was putting that fish up from the deep sea. Can't be pulling out of them though. Come on, Graham. I need to fish to my strengths, and fishing across at 16 metres is not one of my strengths, so if I'm going to do well, it's catching short, so that's where my focus is going to be. But I've just had another indication on this, so I'm just going to see if I can get another bite without feeding more bait. I'm conscious that, you know, I'm only fishing for, you know, I only want to feed for one fish. I don't want to be too quick to put too much bait in. I think that's sometimes some of my problem, where I start a little bit too fast with the bait and then there's too much bait down there and I start getting foul hookers and that type of stuff, and it makes a bit of a mess of the peg. So I'll take it just a little bit easier today. Little tiny perch, he's having fun with that piece of worm. They've implemented net to net rules. You need to net every fish and then put it in the land, keep net with the net, but they've changed that yesterday and said that it's okay to put these little perch in and get the hook out. Just a put them in your net. It's too difficult to put in with your keep net, landing net. So. Right, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the longer line, and I'm just going to start chucking casters over this line short here. It's an indication then. And I think that's going to just get me eye in to start firing casters in the middle. Hopefully catch some fish shallow later, but I want to prep that line for an hour before I check it really. So I'll spend another couple of minutes here trying to get another fish, but if I can get one, then I won't come off it. I missed that. How did I miss that? So a little update, it's 12:15, so a big F1 out long. I'm just fishing it with the worm slot that I've got, and I'm just chucking a few casters over the top. Kind of want to fish shallow there, but I'm just doing this to start with to see if there's any fish on the bottom, and if there is, then I'll just keep doing this. So we're just coming up to halfway in the match. Everything's gone very quiet. I've got £23 on the clicker, which is probably 25. Just started feeding some bait to my left hand edge and my right hand edge. I need some options, so just coming up to 2 o'clock, and I'm back out on my longer line. I'm just trying to catch some, or anything that moves really, to try and just keep in contention. I don't know how far, I was just going to say how far behind, but I'm not sure I am. I don't know where everyone else is really. I've seen some other fish caught, but they're small fish. All I can catch out here at the moment is skimmers, but that's all I can catch, and I'll just keep catching them. These must be like 4 to a pound. And just pray that an F1 swims along in a minute, and that'll be £3. I'm feeding my left and right edges. I've just started chucking maggots and some ground bait down both of those, and I'm still feeding this short line. But it's definitely got hard after a good start. Well, okay start, I would have said. Now, Ollie said to me this morning that he didn't have a fish in the last 2 hours of the match. I wonder if it's the same as yesterday. It's starting to get really bright, really hot, and it's just putting the fish off. Died out there, isn't it? What F1s are on the bottom have moved off somewhere, I don't know where. They haven't come shallow. But you stay here for a minute, see if you can catch a fish, and then come short again, I think, and have another look. Right, so there's an hour to go and I can't get a bite. Just tried either edge, tried short, till I caught a little tiny perch, and I'm just back out line again. After 2 hours it was looking okay, and then the bites slowed up, and then tried plumbing up a new line, and whatever fish was here have just gone. It's really strange. Still, I've got £30 on the clicker, so I think I've beaten the fellow from yesterday. That's one consolation. And maybe I have a good run down the edge in the last half an hour, but not sure. So I've dumped some ground bait on the right hand side and some on the left hand side, and I'm just going to keep chucking maggot down there until I see a tail, or I choose to go down there, I think. That fish knew where it was going, didn't it? Caught you. Right, maybe we're gonna have a good 10 minutes. Well, it was a very tough second half of that match. I've got £30 on the clicker, so maybe a pound or two more. I'm not too sure, but started short with some worm slop, caught a few fish, kept me going. I was priming the line further out on the top 6 line. I had my 2 edges left and right, they both plumbed up nice. I went out on the long line after about an hour, caught a few F1s on the deck, a few skimmers. I was firing caster over the top with worm slop, got me some bites. And then all of a sudden, about 2.5 hours into the match, doof, gone. And then from that point I've struggled to get a bite. I may have had a perch and a skimmer short. I've got one F1 to my right hand side at the death, but outside of that it's been really tough. Don't know what else has been caught in the section. I will find out tonight, along with everyone else. So if you got this far, then well done and thanks for watching, and let's move on to day 3. Catch you later. Ta-da.